Today we have in our studio the head of data and AI consulting at Spire Data, Jaspinder Singh. UAE became the first country in the world to say that every organization should have a chief AI officer. If you are seeing a chief AI officer, what are the things you can help them with?
From an implementation perspective, a chief AI officer would be looking at building out solutions that use AI either to be used internally or to be customer facing. A chief AI officer also has the responsibility to make sure that the data, the AI solutions that they use, that they build, are also secure and governed.
Is AI or data science only for the topmost enterprise or for the mid-markets and the SMB as well?
The entry-level market, the mid-sized organizations, they also have immense roadmaps and immense benefits to be realized from the use of AI in general. For smaller organizations, AI can become 20x accelerator for them. For a larger organization, it can generate immense amount of value given the right application.
Hello and welcome to Spire Connect powered by Spire Solutions. Everybody talks about data, everybody talks about analytics, and today we have in our studio the head of data and AI consulting at Spire Data. So what exactly is AI consulting? Let's ask from Jaspinder Singh.
Thank you, Pankaj. Thank you. Thank you very much for having me here. And as you said, everybody is talking about data and everybody is talking about AI. And for me, AI consulting is something which is the need of the hour, because while there is a ton of data in the world, that data, if not managed properly, if not used properly, will not generate enough value for the businesses. It becomes a source of cost rather than a value generation asset for any business. So what we do at Spire Data is to ensure that when we sign on with a client, we understand their ecosystem of data, we understand the silos that they are in, we understand their business context, and then we build out solutions specifically for that particular client, for that particular business, and in that particular context, and make sure that the data that they have becomes a decisive strength for them.
So when we are talking of data, are we looking at structured data or unstructured data over here?
Oh, we don't distinguish between data. Data for me is data, whether it's structured, it's unstructured, whether it's in the form of PDFs and documents, whether it's in the form of Excels, or it sits in the databases, or it sits on your websites, or it comes as videos or audio recordings or any such thing in the world. Whichever way you want it, the data can be stored. In whichever way you want it, we have the tools to process them as such.
UAE became the first country in the world to say that every organization should have a chief AI officer. If you are seeing a chief AI officer tomorrow morning in your first meeting, what are the things you can help them with?
There are a ton of options in that question. There are so many nuances to that question. A chief AI officer in different settings would mean different things. So we have to take different lenses on it. From an implementation perspective, a chief AI officer would be looking at building out solutions that use AI or that create AI-based solutions, either to be used internally within the business or to be customer facing. And those can be recommendation systems or chatbots or other customer service systems which are externally facing. Internally also, there can be AI systems which can automate certain processes, help and work as co-pilots to different users in different contexts. And that's the application side of things. A chief AI officer also has the responsibility to make sure that the data, the AI solutions that they use, that they build, are also secure and governed. They are used in line with the policies, the processes, the standards, the guidelines that the UAE government and in general the world the world in general has already decided upon as being the best practices. It's an evolving field. Different contexts, different business settings will mean that the AI officer will have different roles. They will have different modes of working, and they will have a different set of responsibilities. No two will be the same. So when I meet them tomorrow morning in the first meeting, I'm going to ask them, what are you going to do? What are your KPIs that you're going to be measured against? And let's talk about those particular things, and we'll build out a solution. We'll build out an advisory for them and a roadmap for them in that regard.
Jaspinder, is AI or data science only for the topmost enterprise or for the mid-markets and the SMB as well?
Absolutely not for the only for the topmost enterprises. the entry-level market, the small organizations, the mid-sized organizations, they also have immense roadmaps and immense benefits to be realized from the use of AI in general. And dare I say, more than the ones which are the topmost or the larger enterprises. Primarily because the cost of AI currently is reducing year on year, month by month. And the way of we are getting to utilize it, the solutions that people are putting up, especially in the open source community as well, they are also becoming so nuanced, so advanced that it sometimes feels like magic. And again, as I would like to reiterate that for smaller organizations who have a distinct a constraint on capital, a distinct constraint on the manpower that they can deploy, AI can become a 10x, 20x accelerator for them. For a larger organization, it can generate an immense amount of value given the right application. And truly, in a practical sense, even a larger organization will never use AI as a whole as an enterprise. True. The individual business units, the individual teams, they will have their own use cases. Essentially, working as smaller business units, smaller organizations within the organization. But the only difference being the governance layer is generally going to be global at an enterprise level.
If I'm a chief AI officer in a government organization and I've come to GITEX, what are the three things from AI and data which I should be looking at in this GITEX?
From a government officer or as a government entity and an AI officer in that role in particular, there are certain aspects that you have to take care of anyways. Application side, the solution side, the value side remains one thing. The most important aspect again becomes whether you are following the frameworks, the guidelines, the policies that the UAE government itself, the Cybersecurity Council itself has set. And they have released one such guideline for AI security and AI governance in September itself, in September 2025.
And what are the highlights of this guidelines?
It is generally defining how you want to operate, how you want to secure, how do you want to make sure that everything is monitored and governed, and in case of certain failure, how do you protect your business continuity. So guidelines around those. These are, if you look at it, these are common sense guidelines. They are things that we should be doing anyways, but to put it into a policy framework makes it ensures that everybody has to follow that. And
Shows the seriousness of the UAE government.
absolutely, absolutely, the commitment, the seriousness of the UAE government itself towards the use and propagation of AI within the government system itself.
Amazing. Everybody says data is the new oil, and we've been hearing for the last 4 years. Is now data bigger than oil?
It depends. I mean, it's an analogy that's going to break at some point if you extend it further enough. When you consider it as an oil, yes, you will have so many panels. For example, you have to extract data, just like you have to extract oil. You have to refine and pipeline it, send it to the right places, and then you can use it for to generate value essentially. And different outcomes can be made out of it. Different products can be made out of it. Similarly, with data, you have to extract it, refine it, pipeline it, and transform it to actually create data products. I would essentially say it's more akin to electricity. Once it is out, you have to use it. Because somebody who is not using data in their business is going to be outpaced by anybody who is using it even a little bit.
True.
So there's no option. It's, as I said, it's more akin to electricity. Having an electrical machine versus manual workers, the productivity levels are very different. There is risk, of course, as it comes with it, but that's something that you have to manage.
Just before this podcast started, we were talking about yes, everybody wants to do AI projects, but nobody knows where to start these AI projects from. What is your answer to this question?
We were actually talking about this, and yeah, the general idea is that all of the organizations at every single point of time, including when their workers are sleeping, is generating data. And that can be customer data, that can be operational data. And all of this is getting stored somewhere. Storage at this point has become cheap enough that we don't necessarily need to delete anything. We just keep on storing it. The question arises, and how do I start working on it? And my very simple answer to that is, what do you want your business to grow into? What's your future roadmap as a business? Don't look at your data roadmap. Don't look at what your AI roadmap is. What's your business growth roadmap? And that's the starting point. From there, we come down. How do I translate my business problem into a data problem? That data problem will have a data solution, and that data solution will be translated into a business solution. Until and unless we focus on the business side of things, the data solution is not going to work.
Let's take an example. Let's say I'm a healthcare provider and I'm a private organization, some hospital based out of Dubai, and I want you to enter into my office and I give you $1 million to deploy AI. What will you do?
Oh yeah, a dream scenario. Give me $1 million to deploy AI in a healthcare scenario. Tons of things. Healthcare as a domain has certain requirements from a regulation standpoint, from a patient privacy standpoint, data privacy standpoint, including the healthcare records that have to be managed properly. So that context. At Spire Data, we have experts who will come in, who are industry experts, they are domain experts, they know these things. And we will come and analyze what the requirements are for that particular industry. Then we have that business conversation. As a healthcare provider, what is your primary concern that you want to improve using data? Is it your operations? Is it the efficiency of your workers or your doctors or scheduling? Is it your finances? Because you deal in cash, you deal in systems which have handwritten notes. Is it something that you need help with there? Or is it patient outcomes that you want to influence directly? Different business outcomes, different priorities. That's when we sit down with the management there, with the leadership there, and we extract the business priorities from their aspect. And they don't all have to go together. They don't all have to be the same priority. Certain companies will manage different things better than other things. So you know where your strengths are. You know your business. I come in as an outside-in perspective from a data science part. And I bring in my experts who are industry experts, who are domain experts. We know certain things, but we don't know your business.
Yeah.
So we work hand in hand together. So when you say $1 million on the line, my job is to come up with solutions that give you an ROI that is at least 10x that.
I love this line. A 10x ROI with $1 million investment. Now, what are the KPIs a CEO can achieve with this kind of a project and present it to the board to get bigger budget for you next year?
CEOs come in all shapes and sizes and varieties, and their mindsets are different, their priorities are different. From a progressive standpoint, the CEO, if he wants to showcase growth, AI can support that. How? Depends on the context. A lot of my answers are going to be it depends.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the reality of the situation. That's why consulting organizations exist. Because it depends on the business context, on the financial context, on the technical context. How much data do you have? How much expertise you have in-house? How much do you want to bring in from outside? All those things have to be answered. But from a CEO's perspective, what can you generate from data in terms of value is how can you grow in terms of revenue generation, growth, support in those aspects of it. Cost reduction is another aspect. A lot of people focusing on that. Automation is an easy bet to do that. And then there are operation efficiencies that you can do. For example, we did projects for retail clients, and that was purely on demand planning, logistics, very small use cases. Like it's a constrained use case. We're not boiling the ocean here. Yeah, nobody wants to do that. It's a very specific use case that we want to work on. We see the value in it. We see what the investment is going to be. We evaluate the technology landscape. We evaluate the business landscape. Are we at a maturity level where it is justified to make this investment? True. And can we have something very tangible in the next 3 months, 6 months, 1 year? What's my roadmap? When we have that information, and this is what we do with our clients, our first step with any client conversation is do the discovery. Sit with them, understand their roadmap, understand their priorities. I don't go barging in with, okay, this is what I have, let's build it. That's not. There's the data solutions, the data products are not one size fits all. The ones that we make are not so. So we integrate technology from everywhere. We are a tech agnostic consulting organization. So we work with the likes of Snowflake and Databricks and AWS and Google Cloud and all the solutions around it, Microsoft included, and that's it. We work at the maturity level of the client, at the technology level of the client, and in their context, in their landscape. And when we talk to the CEO, when we're talking about the 10x business value that AI and data can generate, it starts with that business conversation.
So I want to ask a couple of myth or fact kind of questions, and you can start your answers by saying, is it a myth or a fact, and then explain that answer. My first question is, AI-based projects take too much time to execute. Myth or fact?
Okay, this is going to be my opinion as such, and based on my experience in any ways, right? When you say AI-based products, they take too much time to execute. It's a fact and a myth at the same time.
That's an interesting option.
Yeah. So let me explain. And this has not been a problem with just the AI projects, because we have seen these numbers coming out of Forrester, Gartner reports, that many of these projects get sidelined within the first 6 months or don't generate any value.
Exactly. Because the ROI is missing and people don't see any visible results.
Exactly.
You buy a firewall, you see a box.
Yeah.
You buy any other appliance, you see results coming in or data coming in at least. When people say that in a SOC, you see data coming in, you're saying, okay, the same is working. Whether it's working for you or not, that's a separate question.
Yes.
Similarly, for AI, what is the visible result I will see?
Exactly. So as I said, it's both, right? And this is not something which is new for AI projects. This has been true for projects since forever. Whether something is generating value for you or is not generating value for you is dependent on how you're going to measure it. What's your criteria for success? True. And when it is properly defined, you will and you achieve it, then the projects can be considered a success. But if you don't know where you are going, then any road will take you there.
AI data consulting is only for B2B businesses, not B2C businesses.
When you say B2B businesses, is that as a consulting organization, do I work with only in a B2B fashion, or do I also work in a B2C fashion?
Yeah, B2B2C, let's say.
Okay. No, that's a myth in that case, because it works for the entirety of the spectrum of organizations. What your business is, it doesn't matter whether it's a B2B business or a B2C business. Analytics and AI can help you anywhere.
So let's say if you are entering Dubai Mall, and when you as a data scientist enter over there, where all do you see data around you?
Everywhere. And in many cases, you don't even realize that your data is getting captured. Starting from the place you parked your car.
Yes.
As soon as you tag into that, you take a ticket out of the machine, they know there's a car there. We can have a camera scanning the number plates. Or if you're traveling by metro, which is a very good thing to do using public transport, it's good for the planet anyways. Then also you are tagging your card there, and your account is getting debited. So that is still data being collected. It's tagged to you via your card. Even if it is anonymized, they don't know it's you, but they still know that somebody is there. That's a number.
Yeah.
And then you enter, right? Inside, you have CCTVs everywhere recording every movement of every person who is entering, leaving the premises. And that's again data. In today's world, with current technology, we can identify who is doing what kind of clothes they are wearing, and we can spot trends. You can spot the number of people entering, exiting. That helps with logistics, operations, security in that regard. So you're collecting data there. Using your credit cards, you're generating tons and tons of financial data there, especially when you're voting with your wallet, right? You know where you're spending your money. The systems know where they're spending your money, and credit card organizations, they're collecting that data. They're aggregating it. They're using it. So anywhere you go, this first step you enter into the mall, you're generating data.
So as humans, we are all having a social security number. We are having our passports. Our identity is based on data. So how much data is too much data?
I'm a biased guy in that regard. I don't think there is enough data in the world. So you need more. But yeah, uh, it's a double-edged sword. And that's why we need the kinds of guidance and regulations that are coming in throughout the world in data protection laws, in privacy laws, which means that although we are generating data, and there is no way we cannot do that in a digital world, we have to be digitized in a digital world. But the way it is handled is the more important part. The way your privacy is respected, the way your data is secured so that it is not leaked. Right? All those things need to be taken care of. Let's go back to your Dubai Mall experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen people taking selfies there, posting it on Instagram or Facebook or whatever the most trendy place to do that is today. And that is still, there's a ton of metadata in it, because you're still showing everybody in the world that this is where you have been at this time, at this hour, which means there are certain aspects of you have already released out in the world. It's the responsibility of the platform to make sure that that particular information is securely stored and saved and doesn't go into the wrong hands, right? So how you generate your data is going to be different in different contexts. How it is managed and secured is based on a certain set of guidelines and best practices and policy frameworks that are coming up in the world. The EU is giving up its own. The GDPR is already in effect. There are all privacy laws all over the world which are in effect. The AI laws are coming in, regulations are coming in. We are seeing that happen starting 2025, 2026. New things are coming up. This is the right use of AI. This is the wrong use of AI. Don't use it in this way. Certain industries are considered high risk. Certain use cases are considered high risk. So you have to have special care on deploying AI in those cases. And the question being whether it's too much data. No, there is no way you can avoid it. It's too much convenience for me to have that digitized, and I love having that convenience when it comes with a lot of value, because it comes with a lot of value. How it is handled is the most important part, is the more important aspect.
Let's say you receive an order and your team is now getting engaged with the end customer. So, what is the process and the timeline for that?
So for any customer engagement, we have certain predefined activities that we do, and that's again our operating model. And we've covered this earlier also. We started with a discovery exercise, which is we get into a room, we can do a meeting with the stakeholders who are involved in it, understand the business context, understand the technology context, understand the priorities and the success criteria for any projects. From there on, we move on to a foundation, and that's a data foundation, a platform foundation itself. In many cases, we find that certain organizations will have data which is spread out across the board in different technology silos or business silos, and they're not talking to each other. And that's a pretty common scenario. So what we do is because we understand the business use case, the business priorities, we can also identify which data information, which data pieces, which information can we would need to actually utilize to build out on that scenario. So that's our next step. Can we unify that data? Can we build it into a foundational platform using different tools? And these can be a centralized data platform, or it can be a kind of a lake house scenario wherein we can pull the data in and do certain transforms on it, pipeline it to that, and use our technology tools to build a foundation for that. That foundation gives us the ability to do further processing on it. And that's when we start to build out the AI solutions, the data products, and further solutions on top of it, the analytics solutions on top of it. Once that is done, we work with the customer again, and this is a very, very like interactive process. There is nothing that we go and take away and work in a cave like Iron Man does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not how it works. So we work very openly with the clients, a very white box solution at every point of time. So in a very agile fashion, we build it out. Every stage, every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, as we test it out with the customer, see we are going in the right direction, of if there is a change of priorities at any point of time, we can shift. But then that's how we work. And engaging with the customer, working, making sure that we are on the right track. We build out the data products, the solutions, the analytics, and that can take any shape and form. That can be an ML model, that can be a data product in itself, that can be a visualization as such, right? And from there on, we take it to production. Yeah, usually we start with about 6 weeks of a POC, and then extend the project further based on the ROI that we were able to deliver, or change directions, go back to the drawing board and see if what worked, what didn't work, what did we learn. And from there it goes into production, into the hands of the end users, and we continue monitoring and expanding it further. So that's a typical operating model. But the idea is to get to something which is valuable in as early as 6 weeks.
So, if I'm a chief AI officer, Spire Data is my Jarvis.
Absolutely.
If I'm a CIO or a CTO and I'm planning for my next year's budget, but I don't have $1 million and I want to start small, see some early wins, what are the top 3 use cases for, let's say, a retail company, which I should plan for?
So from that perspective, I think one of the primary use cases would be forecasting, your revenue forecasting based on your skills that you have. And there is also marketing optimization. How do I market certain aspects of it? And that can be another conversations that we can have. And then demand planning and operational optimization in that regard. Okay, how much am I going to sell? What is my stock out options? What is my lead time? How do I get just in time fulfillment of my orders? So those three things, which are pretty much top of my mind at this point of time, would be fairly good use cases to have.
I think that's an amazing answer. And I think most people will find synergy with this answer as well. You will have a lot of data from this booth at GITEX with the footfall, with the people coming in, partners coming in, vendors coming in. What are your plans around that data now? Because you love data so much.
No, we are going to comb through it, see what we can find. And in many cases, when we are meeting our prospective customers, we're meeting our partners, we're meeting general visitors who are curious about what we do. And I love that. So we're going to go through this. We have that captured in a spreadsheet for now. And then once we identify and classify who is what kind of conversation are they interested in, which I believe my team is actually religiously taking notes on that as well. We'll follow up on it. And that becomes a starting point to have the next level of conversation with them.
AI has seen so much growth in the last 12 months. It is almost quadrupled in terms of the number of people using AI. And this platform is going to explode even further in the next couple of years. What are the trends we can expect in 2026 from AI and data perspective?
No, you're right. The AI genie is out of the box.
Yeah.
It's not going back in, no matter what happens now. So the world has changed fundamentally because of that. The trends that I can foresee is right now we are in the Wild West era of AI. Anybody is doing everything they can do, and we are exploring what are the limits that we can get to. And that's a good thing because that's how science works. Essentially, when we are trying to get value out of it, when we are trying to become as more mature with the use of AI, it would essentially mean that we put certain guardrails around it, certain frameworks around it, governance around it. So that is something that I'm pretty sure is going to pick up in the next couple of years. Can I trust my AI systems? Can I trust the output? What is the risk involved? Right? What's the security requirement for all my AI systems? And with AI comes a whole different set of challenges around that. We have seen people using AI to generate fake videos, images which are not of real people, or they are representing or they are imitations of actual people. To an extent that there's a certain lack of trust that has already started coming up. Okay, whatever I see on the internet can be AI. Indeed, right? So that aspect of it. One thing that I'm foreseeing is going to happen is the trust revolution, which is something that if you can build a brand or a product which certifies or identifies and is trusted to within the general community that whatever we do is authentic, that's going to be more valuable than anything else. So in a world where anybody can use AI to do anything, people and organizations who trust their core, build their authenticity, are the ones becoming more valuable day and day, because that's what is going to be a scarce resource, and anything that is a scarce resource is going to be valuable.
So the trust revolution is the next big thing. And over here, you can trust that at Spire Connect, powered by Spire Solutions, we are getting authentic stories for you. No AI is involved, just AI-based conversations. Thank you for watching this episode.